Good evening and salutations, my YNR fans. YNR is an interesting show. One of the things I like about doing these reviews, as far as watching these different shows, is that each show has it has its own rhythm, its own energy, really. And sometimes, when I watch GH, as much as I love GH, it's always nice to sit there and kind of check out what some of the other shows are doing, their energy, their rhythm. And the show does have some interesting characters. I will sit there and say that Phyllis is definitely interesting. Victor, enough said. Um, I'm loving this whole Newman thing with Ashland. This stuff is great. Okay? Then there's just episodes like this where I'm always sitting there thinking, how I'm so trying not to be too negative about this show. I really am, which is why I started off saying nice things. But how is this show as popular as it is? When you have episodes like this, don't get me wrong. I'm going to talk about the Sharon thing for a minute because this was driving me up a wall. It was driving me up a wall so bad. One of the things that's really irritating me about the Sharon scenes is the way that everyone seems to be trying to manage her. Yesterday I watched it. I didn't review it, but I did watch it. And seeing Chelsea walk in and be all like, "Oh, I'm sorry," if there's anything that I can do, and having Victoria walk in and being like, "Well, if anything I can do to help," and I'm looking at these two, and I'm like, I get it. You are trying to be nice. You're trying to be comforting to her. But let's just be very clear about both of those scenes, or about both of those characters. Sharon is doing her best to just get out of bed. Okay? And if we're being really honest, Sharon can easily blame Chelsea for the fact that Ray wouldn't have been on the road if it wasn't for the fact that Chelsea asked Ray to take her son to that hockey game. That was the only reason why he was on the road. And with Victoria, if Victoria wasn't sitting there driving while she was angry and emotional and crying and tears, and her vision probably wasn't the best because she was too busy crying about the stuff that was going on, she wouldn't have hit Ryan. Okay? So to have both of those women come to her face and be like, "Well, I'm just so sorry, and if there's anything I can do," and Ray was a good person, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious right now? And today, watching everyone try to tiptoe around and Noah's like, "Are you okay?" And there's one part where Faith is sitting there talking to Noah, and Faith is like, "Well, I don't understand why she's holding it, and why can't she just let it out? Why can't you people just let this woman grieve the way that she wants to grieve?" I get that people want to try to help, and they don't really know what to do, so they try to be really nice and over helpful and everything like that. But sometimes the best thing that you can do is let this person process what they're going through and treat them like you would every other normal day, because it was just so irritating. There's a point where Mariah and Tess are talking to Sharon and like, maybe we shouldn't do this wedding, with everything going on, and we want to make sure you're okay. And once again, trying to manage her feelings. And she's like, "I need everyone to stop. Okay, I need this wedding. I need to sit there and celebrate something happy, and this needs to go on." And it was her nice way of saying, "Can everyone stop babying me?" Well, that's what she said, but can everyone stop managing me and trying to manage my feelings? It got to a point where it was just like I'm literally sitting there watching at this point like this because it got that irritating. It got that irritating. Um, um, Mariah's gonna walk. Well, Nick is gonna walk down Mariah for the wedding, and Tessa's gonna be. I mean, Sharon's gonna be Tessa's maid of honor. So there's that. Um, I don't know what to sit there and say about Ray. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to be a complete dick because I know Sharon loved him, and they were really happy together and everything like that, and I think that's really great. But with that being out the way, it's one of those things where it's like he didn't really seem like he was doing much in the show. Didn't really seem like they really got him in anything interesting when I was watching it. So it's like I'm not really feeling the loss of his character being gone. And if anybody who watches this watches GH, and I didn't really sit there and talk about this during GH, but I heard Sonny, well, Maurice is thinking about retiring, and I'm just like, okay, you have other strong characters in the show, you can be gone, and I'm still gonna be okay with it. I don't know where that came from, but uh, I think just talking about Ray and how his character was just like, all right, you either they're there or not there. I don't really care. And it's sort of the same thing with Sonny, except for, well, I actually like his character. Um, what else happened during this episode? Diane, at this point, I don't even know what the hell she's doing. She is freaking out, so she decides to go to the cafe, and then Mariah, I guess she's waiting to get her drink, and Mariah's like, oh man, I guess everything's kind of crazy. And so she goes behind the bar. Well, she goes behind the desk, and she's like, how can I help you? Yada, yada, yada. They get to talking, and Mariah, out of nowhere, is like, oh, I'm sorry everything is such a disarray. There was a death in the family. My mother lost her husband. And I'm just like, why was that exposition really necessary? Like, why did you need to sit there and tell this woman that? I mean, maybe, well, customer service people can be, oh, the worst versions of themselves. So I get maybe she wanted to sit there and kind of stop that, but it was unnecessary. But then Diane started asking about Sharon. You mean Sharon so and so from so and so place, and then this, that, and that. She started asking all these questions. I was like, Diane, aren't you trying to keep a low profile? You're asking like 20 something questions. Anyway, she gets her drink and she leaves, and then Phyllis gets on her face, and more or less it's like, oh well, I wish you were dead. This and a third, and I'm just like, all right. I mean, the thing is, she yells at her for her leaving her room, and I'm just like, you do realize that you're not a cop and she's not a prisoner, right? Like, you do understand that whole dynamic, right? Um, saw Ashland for a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. It almost seemed like it just like they just needed to just put him in an episode, and so they put him in this episode. But long story short, Jack tells Kyle that Diane's alive, and it takes him a while to believe it, and then it takes him even longer to sit there and process it. And did he get into this whole thing about, um, him holding on to good memories of her, even though that there was a bunch of people that really didn't like Diane, and some people actually came to his face and told him like, you know, what they thought of Diane. I'm just like, really? And he still had their teeth intact? Because I'm gonna be completely honest. How do you sit there and trash talk somebody's mother, somebody to their face, and that's their mother. Like, how do you do that? I mean, that's what he was sitting there saying. Um, After that, Ashlyn came over and he wanted to sit there and see Harrison and take him out or whatever, because I guess he just wanted to bond with him, and he seemed like he was really emotional. Even though the day before he seemed like he was really angry and annoyed, specifically with Nikki, because Nikki was like, aren't you supposed to be gone? What are you still doing in town? I'm like, you do realize that you people don't own this town, right? Like, it's called Genoa City. It isn't called Newman land or anything like that. And, Ashton more or less was like, yeah, listen, I'm not going nowhere. And to be honest, I'm getting a little annoyed with everyone getting in my face, specifically your family, trying to tell me to go somewhere like, I have to listen to any one of y'all. Um, but when he came in today, he seemed like he was really emotional, and I just don't understand where that came from. Um, After that, Kyle went to go get a beer. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think I've ever actually found one beer that I can sit there and say that was really good. Like, I can do Heineken, but it's not like, I don't know. I sometimes wonder, is alcohol ever really supposed to taste like really good? I don't know. Maybe I haven't actually found a alcoholic beverage that I can really sit there and say I like. Um, anyway, he's drinking and he runs into Tracy, and they talk about his mother and how he's processing everything, and of course Kyle tried to talk to Summer, but it's a different time zone, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I was just like, maybe what, never mind. I was sitting there like, why is Cynthia trying to ask everyone else's opinion on what he should be doing with his mother, other than, well, himself? Um, but I get it. It's a lot to process. You thought your mother died as a child. You're a grown man with your own family and your own children or child or whatever. And you come to find out that your mother not only isn't dead, but faked her death and intentionally did that. Intentionally didn't tell you. And it wasn't like she was running away from some really bad men. It's just she just chose to do it. So I get the fact that he is seeking counsel for um, how to deal with this whole Diane situation. I was about to sit there and say that's it, but then there was some stuff with also Elena came in there to give her condolences, but there was some stuff with Phyllis and Amanda. I'm gonna be completely honest. After Amanda was sitting there talking about everything was all good as far as work is concerned, and Phyllis started talking about Jack. The thing is, you're telling Amanda some of the stuff that's going on, but you're not really being specific. And I'm gonna be honest. If I was hearing somebody talk about a situation like that, and I'm like, well, Jack is dealing with somebody from the past, one of his exes, and they're around in town, and it, like, just kind of. Here's the thing: this isn't the first time that she did this. Where I get that she wants to respect Jack's um personal business, but you can't tell a story and tell it in such this half-assed manner. I remember it irritating the hell out of me when she did that before. And it didn't even irritate me at this point. It just bored me because it was like, I know what's going on. I want to sit there and see her actual reaction, or like it just annoyed. I guess it kind of annoyed me a little bit. Um, her sitting there telling her, "Oh, Jack is dealing with something. I can't say what it is. Oh, he met his niece, or he met somebody, one of the family members, but I can't say who it is." And it's like to me, it irritates me. It irritates me, and I don't have patience for that. I don't have patience for things like that. So I gotta sit there and give hats and credit due to the people who have been watching the show as long as they have, and I'm pretty sure the show has some amazing storylines back in the day. Hell, GH had some amazing storylines back in the day, even when I started watching it. Um, when you start doing stuff like this, it's just like, what are we doing? Um, it's something I want to say, but it's like I can't say because it's not so much that it's going to get me in trouble. It's just that it's not appropriate, and it's about Phyllis, about today specifically, and I can't get into it anymore. But if I I can't say it. I can't say it because I'm not gonna be that person. I'm not gonna be that person, and it doesn't relate to the actual episode, so there's really no point in me really saying what it is. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's actually gonna do it. I want to thank everyone for watching. I know that I've been doing these episodes very spottily or whatever. Um, and I said this in my day's review, but I'll sit there and say it in this one. And this is specifically for B&B and Y&R. If it gets to a point where it's like it's for me 10 o'clock, and I know I have to work the next morning, or I'm super tired, I'm probably just not gonna wind up doing a review. Just because when I'm that tired, I feel like my heart's not in it. And whenever I do these reviews, it's fun. It is fun. You know, I actually had more fun talking about this episode than I did watching it. So, with that being said, it's like I don't want to sit there and just put out something, just put out something, Um, I was not there thinking about even like with B&B, just being like, you know what, maybe I'll just sit there and just, do a review on both of them. But I'm still not used to doing a review like two. I guess I could do it, but I kind of want to just do it now and just watch it or whatever. The sad part is that I want to do this review a lot earlier. I want to do this review a lot earlier. My beer review. I want to do all my reviews a lot earlier. I was so tired. I felt like when I slept, I felt like I was in a damn near coma. It was so bad that the only reason why I think I woke up when I did was because I was hungry. If I was not hungry, I don't think I would have woke up until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I haven't slept that way and slept that long in a while. I gotta start changing some stuff around. My sleeping patterns are just, well, to be honest, I also took some stuff that probably shouldn't have took. It's nothing like illegal or anything like that. It's over the counter, but whatever this was, it I think I slept longer because of what I took. I don't know if it was because of work, but I think it might have been because of what I took. But I gotta change some stuff around in my personal life as far as my sleeping patterns is concerned. Because to be honest, I want to get to a point where it's like I wake up early, like 9 o'clock, and I know my dad like 9 o'clock is pretty late. It is pretty early for a content creator. But I want to wake up early. I want to get to a point where I wake up early. I have my breakfast, and I'm just ready to go. And I can just start doing my reviews and just being feeling like I have energy. Um. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.